consistent with small habits, and just in general, how to get consistent with habits. So habits are huge in our lives. Like, our life is basically made up of habits. 40% of our actions are habitual. So I'm really excited to help people get consistent with this, because this is one of those topics that I hear over and over and over and over again from clients. Everybody wants to learn, how the heck do I get consistent? So I'm going to be talking about that today. Hi, Connoisseur Elementary. Wow, that's a cool handle. I don't even know if I said that right. Hi, Star. Hi, Brian. Hi, Blooming with Spring. How are you guys? As you're coming in, let me know. You drop an emoji, drop some hearts, do something. Let me know if you struggle with being consistent with habits. And if you want to share in the comments, I would love to know, what are the habits that you struggle with? Because then I can tailor the conversation to the exact habits that you want. I know some people reach out to me saying that they struggle with, like, I see some hearts, okay. I know some people reached out saying that, like, they struggle with, like, me time and waking up earlier like they want to. And I have mixed feelings on waking up early, so I can get into that as well. But habits, like I was saying, they are essentially acquired patterns over time. So our whole life is made up majority of the actions that we do, right? So how we're spending our time is how we end up spending our life. And a lot of times, a lot of the things we do are just habitual. And some of them are not voluntary habits. Some are things we built up. Other things are things we got from our parents, things we don't no longer want to be doing, that we want to break. So I'm going to talk about, some reasons why some reasons behind why you have those certain habits, and also how you can start building up habits and making them consistent. So if you're on here and you don't know me, hi, I'm Sade Kelly. Nice to meet you. I'm a time management coach who specializes in teaching high achievers how to manage their time more efficiently, so that they can actually achieve their goals in a timely manner without sacrificing their self-care, without burning out, without all the stress, right? There's ways to go about your life with more ease, and that's what I'm all about. Like, I do not want to live to work. I want to work so I can live more, right? The whole point of being efficient with work is that I get to live more and do more of the things that I want to actually do. So that's what I'm all about over here. Okay, I see some people writing in. Connoisseur said, I struggle with staying off social media and getting my work and chores done. Got you. That is a common one. I just had a client who, when we first started working together, she was spending like 11 hours on like Instagram, and I think YouTube was another one she was really on, and Twitter. And we got her down to like a couple hours. So like, that is a transformation that could definitely happen. Star said getting out of bed on time. Yes. Chronic snoozing, right? I can relate to that. Hi, April. Hi, Be Free. I was asking people to drop some chores. Because I just read that comment. Drop some habits that you're looking to get consistent with. But I was just explaining the importance of consistent and what the heck I do, and why I'm so passionate about time management. Because I think time management is one of those topics that it's not the sexiest, right? Like, a lot of people just learn about it in school, or they just know it's something important that they need to be doing, but they haven't realized that it's actually the key to living a successful life. It's like the key to designing a lifestyle that you want comes down to how adequately are you planning your time? How are you building up your habits? How are you breaking bad habits? So we're going to get into all of that. I'm going to be sharing the ways to do that. If you see me looking over, it's because I'm prepared. I prepare for these lives, guys. I treat this like it's a training. I think about the topic. Actually, this topic was chosen from France. I think that's how you say his name, Francie. I don't know how to exactly say his name, but he was on the live last week, and I asked, what are some topics you guys wanted to learn about? And he mentioned this topic. I put it on my story. You guys vote on it every week. So that's how I'm going to do my lives. That actually motivates me. When I'm giving you guys options, you're picking what you actually want to see, and then I'm tailoring it to what you want, because I have so many things under the sun that I can talk about when it comes to managing your time and your lifestyle, but I want to serve whatever you want. So that's how I do it. But yeah, so like I mentioned, how you approach your life really comes down to your habits, right? So how out of shape you are comes down to your habits. How happy or unhappy you are comes down to your habits. How successful or unsuccessful you are comes down to your habits. So there's a lot of pressure around habits, and I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that to show you how valuable they are to build and to break if they're bad. And majority of people take way longer than they think they will to actually develop habits. So a common issue that I see when people are trying to develop habits is that they think it's going to come like really quick. And drop in the comments, how many days do you think it takes to build a habit? I would love to know what you guys think. Drop it in the comments. how many days do you think it takes to build up a habit? I don't want to say because I want to see the comments first, but I know Instagram's a little delayed anyway, so I'm gonna continue. But typically people think it takes 21 days, and that's because there's been a lot of media around that topic. Oh, it only takes 21 days to build a habit. That's the minimum amount of days that it takes. Usually it takes 66 to about 90, and it can take up to 254 days, right? So 66 is a really good average number. It usually takes people to build a habit up, and that's 66 consistent days. 90 is how long it usually takes for it to be a lifestyle change in terms to actually implement this into your life long term. And it can take people up to 254 days to actually build a habit, according to studies, right? So 254 days is a little over 8 months. So that's, I always joke with my clients because it's easy to remember. As long as at the same amount of time it takes to birth a child, right? Like to develop the kid and be pregnant and have the baby, right? The whole 9 months is how long you should think about your habits when you start approaching them. Think about making them very small. Think about the long game, and that's going to help you to actually develop them. So one of the most common things I see why people fail at habits is they do not give themselves grace. They start strong. How many people in here are strong starters? Like many of us are strong starters, and I have a lot of clients who say, I start strong, but then I fall off. Yeah, because you're not giving yourself grace. The one day that you miss, like you did 4 great straight days, and then you miss it one day, and then all else fails. You're like, I'm done with this. I'm a failure. I'm never going to be able to build this habit up. It's not going to work for me. And you start creating all this like noise in your head. You let your brain get to you. And many of those thoughts are not true. They're just depleting. And we're going to go into that too. But that's another big reason why people often don't get consistent with habits. They don't give themselves grace. They let all the negative feelings come in, and they give into that, and they don't stick it through or get back on track. And they also don't seek help for the habits that they're trying to build. So those are all reasons why. And I'm gonna give you some tips on like how to overcome those and actually get consistent. So if you don't already, have a notebook out or somewhere where you can take notes, because obviously you're watching me on your phone. I want you to be able to write these things down and actually implement them. Because if I teach you things and you don't ever implement them, you won't ever see the change. A lot of times people will watch lives like this, and I've done it myself, or take a course or work with someone who's given them all the tools that they need, and they know the information is valuable, but then they don't ever act on it. So if you don't implement anything, you're never really going to get to tailor any of these strategies to yourself. You're never going to see if they actually work for you, right? And I'm about to drop some gems. Like I'm literally going to share stuff that I would only share with clients with you guys. So write these notes. And of course, if you have questions while I'm talking, write them in the chat. I'm happy to answer. And then, if anything I said resonates with you, drop some hearts, show me some love. Let me know that you're engaged and you're here, because I want to feel like I'm talking to somebody. I'm not just talking to myself. And also, if you feel inclined, support your girl with a badge, right? Support your creators, your teachers, your educators. Sorry, that was funny to me. All right, so here are the 3 ways that you can start getting consistent with small habits. So the first one is you have to identify your reason why. Like you got to identify your why. In order to stay connected on what you're going to be doing and the habit you want to actually do long term, you have to have a reason why you're actually doing it. If you don't have a reason for why you want to do the habit, then you most likely will fail at the habit, right? So you have to be able to have a clear, compelling vision of like why you are doing this habit. Like you have to imagine what it will feel like while you're doing the habit, why this is important to you. Like you really have to make it meaningful, because at the end of the day, you do things based on how much it means to you and how important it is for you. So when you're trying to build up a new habit, you have to keep reminding yourself and really envision why this is important to you, why you want to actually start doing this habit. And you can't just do things because you think you should. And I see that all the time. I was like that. Like I remember wanting to wake up at 5 a.m. because I thought that's what I needed to do. I saw all those things, like plenty of you probably have seen that millionaires wake up at that time, heads of companies and CEOs wake up at that time. So I have to do that too in order to be successful. That's not true, and that actually didn't work for me. But there are things that we often want and we believe we should get them because it feels like that's the right thing to do. So I want you to really differentiate between what you feel is right or what you've seen online as success. And I was kind of talking about this actually earlier with another coach, where it's I see a lot of stuff online about glorifying entrepreneurship or like glorifying like making six figures. And it's like, if that's not your idea of success, don't just like focus on the numbers. Like, what is your idea of success? Like for me, I want to be fulfilled. Like I left my corporate job because I wanted to be doing something more fulfilling, and I knew coaching was something that I really enjoyed. I didn't know what I was doing was coaching. I thought I was just like helping people all the time, but really what I was doing is helping people navigate things, and I was coaching them through things in their life. So I left because that's what I felt was success for me, and that was my purpose. You have to figure out like, what is the purpose of the habit you actually want to start doing? I know it feels like really deep, but it has to be that deep, because if you want the change to happen, you really have to resonate with the change. So think about it, like when you are trying to save money, for example, if you're just saving money because you think you should, you most likely have failed at saving money, right? I've been there. I've done that, where it's like they say online to save 30% of your money, so let me put 30% aside, and the next thing you know, I'm spending that 30% at brunch. Like it wasn't a strong enough reason. I can't just save because someone told me I should, right? If I'm saving because I know I want to buy a house one day, I want to go on like my dream trip, I want to move to a different state, those are really compelling reasons, and that will hold you accountable on the days when you feel like, ooh, do I really want to save, or should I save? Like those times when you're feeling like that, knowing you have a deeper reason why, and you know why you're doing it, will get you there. For instance, like working out. Working out is one thing that I work with a lot of people. Well, I work with a lot of women, honestly. I don't want to stereotype us, but a lot of times we're like, oh, I want to work out more. I want to get consistent. I want to get in the gym, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of times our reasons are just aesthetic. So what happens is, and I've been there, right? Like I remember the first time I was trying to lose weight. This is going to sound so crazy, but I was in college and I wanted to lose weight strictly because I was like, I want to look like Beyonce. Like that was purely, it was so aesthetic. Like that was the only reason why. And a lot of times when you're just trying to do something like that, like work out for just the aesthetics, once you reach it and you get the aesthetic goal, or if you never get the goal, you give up on it. But if your reason is deeper, like for instance, it's for a medical issue, like let's say like you have high cholesterol, you have high blood sugar, you're pre-diabetic or something, and you know that if you got fit and developed this healthy lifestyle, you'd be able to live longer and live healthy, right? That's a deep, compelling why. Like I remember my first time I started working out was because of all of aesthetics. But then eventually I had to get in the gym because I was told when I was like 21 that I was pre-diabetic. And I was like, how the heck? I'm so young. Like, I don't know. In my head, I was like, I'm too young for that to be a thing. And then I realized like, no, this is like the actual numbers. And if I don't switch up and actually get consistent with my habits and change my eating and change my working out, like not that I cut everything out, but I had to make some changes in order to see the results. And that led me into being able to work out for like the last like 7 years. And now I've been diabetes free, pre-diabetic free. Like my levels have all been good, but because I had to actually build up the habit. So these are just examples of why having a compelling reason is going to keep you building up the habit versus when you have no reason at all, right? Is that making sense? Drop some hearts. Let me know. I don't see many comments, so I need to know if y'all are still here with me. Is that making sense? Do you get why, like a reason why is really important? Oh, thanks, Sarah, for getting a badge. Appreciate you. So yeah, that's definitely number one. You have to start off with your why, your mission, why this habit's important to you. Yes, it does. Thanks, Kayla. Hey, Kayla. All right, number two. Sorry, it's really hot in here. I think my husband has like the heat on and he's trying to burn us up. But okay. I digress. Number two is you have to make it easy. So don't just prioritize your schedule, but you got to schedule your priorities in, right? I'm going to say that again. Don't just prioritize your schedule. You have to schedule your priorities, okay? When I say that, I mean a lot of times we have a schedule in place. A lot of us, we have prior engagements, we have meetings, we have things that are always on our calendar. Those are the things we feel like we have to just do, right? But a lot of times we don't sit down and actually think through, what are the things I want to do? What are the habits I want to develop? And do I actually prioritize them and put those things onto my schedule over anything else? So for instance, I had a client, she was saying that she's like not really doing her morning routine. We set up a great morning routine for her. She was doing good. She kind of got thrown off because she went on vacation, which happens a lot to a lot of people. Then they're not able to always switch the habits up on vacation. Something happens in their life. There's usually some shift. That's another reason why people lose out on habits. They don't get back on track. So we were trying to get her back on track, and I asked her about her schedule and like where she was putting the morning routine activities. Like, is it on your calendar? Is it in your planner? Like, wherever you're planning, is it there? And she was like, no, I just know what I gotta do. And I was like, see, that's your problem right there, right? Like, you're not making it easy. You're literally making it hard for yourself. You have to wake up and now think, what's my morning routine? No, have it written out, have it clear, have it in your calendar. Like, if you want to start meditating, have a time block on your calendar that says meditate, girl. Like, whatever, however you would write it. That's how I would write it. But like, just if you want to start working out, have the time on your calendar that says go work out. And like, if you want to get more detailed, put the workout that you want to do in there. Like, whatever, insert the habit. If you want to have more me time, put that crap in your calendar. Like, stop playing yourself. You have to show up for yourself. Like, no one else is going to show up for you. You got to show up for yourself. So if you want to keep complaining about what you don't have, but yet you're not making the time to do it, make it make sense. It doesn't. So make it easy, right? Like, our brains are wired for pleasure. We want to do things that we enjoy. We want to have fun. We want to do things that are comfortable. Anytime you are about to embark on any new habit, any life change, anything new you're about to get into, your brain is like, no. Like, literally, that's what it's doing on the inside. Like, it's freaked out because it's never done this before. It doesn't know how it's going to go. You're getting anxious about it. You're nervous. You're worried. Like, everything in you wants to not do it. It's like, you just want to go back to doing the more comfortable thing. It's like, I'm trying to think of an example of like in my own life where this happened to me. I can give you an example. All my examples are like food. I don't know why, but this is what comes to my head. But clearly, I love food. But I know for me, like when I was even trying to make the dietary changes, right? It was like I could put the apples in front in the fridge so I could see the fruit, right? Or I could put the chips like that I was used to grabbing, or I could just not even buy those things. But if I wanted to make it easy for myself to make the better option, I would put the better option in front of me and make sure that was always there, right? Like, you have to decrease the friction of the good habit you want to build, right? And then increase the friction for the bad habit you no longer want to be doing. So just make it easy. Like, I had a client, she wanted to start reading. This is very tangible. It's a really, really good tip. She put the book on her bed, like on her pillow. That was how she was going to start reading every night instead of being on her phone. Because she was like, I'm so tired of being on my phone. It's keeping me up at night. And which there's so many things with that. That could be a whole nother live or why you shouldn't be on your phone at night. But the whole point is she put her book on the pillow. So when she would walk into her room at night, she would look at the book and go, oh yeah, I want to read. I want to get in bed a little bit earlier so I can spend some time reading so I can wind down before going to sleep so I can get better sleep. Simple as that. She has now went from not reading at all to finishing 2 books a month. Simple little things, simple little change that she needed to make, right? Simple as that. For me, on personal example, I wanted to meditate. I've been wanting to meditate for so long because I heard about all the benefits. I know it can help me focus. I know it can help with anxiety. I know it can help clear my mind. And for me personally, I wanted to get more clear on just what I wanted spiritually. And I wanted to be able to be able to just be free and let my mind wander and like learn how to not do anything, right? So I knew meditation was really, really important for me, but I could not get myself to do it. Like, I would just always struggle with it. It was just like, I just felt like I was failing at it because my mind was always racing, yada, yada, yada. So I made it really, really small. I made it easy by telling myself, I'm going to do it for 3 minutes and I'm just going to do that once a week. Maybe next week I'll do it twice, 3 minutes. Maybe the next week I'll do it for 5 minutes. Ooh. And maybe I'll do it 4 times a week. Like, I made it so small. I made it so easy that it was like, okay, you want to start meditating, you did it really small, and next thing you know, I started telling myself, you know what, all I want next week is I want to meditate every day for 3 minutes. And then all of a sudden, I started showing myself that, yeah, all I wanted was 3 minutes, but now I'm doing it for 10. Now I'm doing it for 20. Now I'm doing it for 30. And I didn't say that's what I wanted at first, but I ended up building up to that. So I started really, really small. And a lot of times, if you can start really, really small and make it really easy, you're going to be successful with any habit. A lot of people start off with developing new habits and they make them way too large. They like go on these difficult challenges and they want to go so hard. And sometimes that doesn't work for you. Some people that does work for, like personally, I love a challenge. Like that kind of jumpstarts me. I want to do something straight for 30 days or straight for 60 days. But for some people that doesn't work. So you have to kind of try out both and see which one works better for you. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, the real Mamiana. Hope I said that right. Kayla said, just make it easy for yourself. I love this tip. I just ordered a nightstand to make my night routine and morning routine easier. Yeah, see, it's that simple. Take some time to think through what can make this easier for myself. Boom. She got the nightstand. Now she can do her morning and night routine really easy. Hi, B Crowns. All right, so first tip I shared was identifying your why. Second one was make it easy. And the third tip I want to share is use your logic instead of your emotion. Y'all might get mad at me about this one, but this is a good tip. So like I was saying, your brain wants pleasure, right? So at the end of the day, you're not going to always feel like doing the thing that you know you want to do, that you told yourself you would do. And this is one of the top reasons why people don't show up for themselves the way that they would like to, is because they go based off their feelings. And a lot of your feelings are just not true, right? Like your feelings are based off your thoughts. So if you can change your thoughts, you can also change your feelings. Emotions come to you and you can't control them, but they'll go away in 45 seconds. And when I learned that, it changed my life. So I want to change your life right now. When you feel an emotion, it lasts for 45 seconds. The only reason it lasts longer than that is because you decided to keep thinking those thoughts. You decided to create it into a mood. You have way more control over your mind, and you have way more control over your habits and the actions you take day by day just by switching your thoughts. Needed to hear that. Yes. So I want you to know that you have so much more control than you think. And I love telling my clients that, because for many of them, they always feel like, they come to me because they're like, I just feel like I don't have control over my time. My time controls me. I'm so overwhelmed. And it's like, whoa, take a step back. Where are these feelings coming from? Can you release these feelings? Because you absolutely can. Can you ignore the I don't feel like it voice that's always in your head? Guys, I don't always feel like it. To be honest, I wasn't feeling well this morning. Woke up, my nose is stuffy. I hope you can't really tell. And then I was like, I don't want to do no work today. And I could have done that, right? I could have. But I didn't go based on my feeling. I let my body rest for what I felt was significant enough. And then I got up and I was like, I'm going to do a little bit of work. And then I sat down and got like almost my whole list done in like 3 hours. And I was like, whoa, it's crazy when you focus what you can get done. But like I did that. And then I went for a walk, and then I came inside and I was like, I don't really feel like going live. But I also know that like I prepared for this live. I'm excited about pouring into the people in my audience today. It's like, why would I not do it? Sometimes you got to get out of that emotion. You got to trick it with some logic. Like literally just talk to yourself and remind yourself of the reason why you're doing it. Remind yourself of why this is important to you. Remind yourself to show up for yourself. Like literally just ignore that I don't feel like it. Because you're always going to not feel like it. There's always going to be some resistance. Your brain is like wired for that. It loves that crap. I hate it. I wish it wasn't like that. But it is what it is. Like that's just what happens to us. So just know that you're going to feel the resistance. And I hope if anything that you gotten from this live, you've taken away that the resistance is okay. You're going to feel it, but you have to push past it, because that's how you get consistent, right? Consistency really comes down, it's so much more than your effort, right? Your effort and your talents are great, but if you're not consistent at something, you don't have the practice, you don't put the actual like reps in, you won't get better and the habit won't get grown. So I really want you to train yourself to override that feeling. I also want you to start giving yourself way more grace when it comes to building habits. And I want you to keep a tracker. I want you to actually like track your progression. So when it comes to building habits, let me see some of the things that you guys said. You said, sorry guys, I'm scrolling up. You want to get consistent at getting out of bed on time and staying off social media and getting your work done and chores done. Okay, I'm going to talk to that too. But when it comes down to building a habit, I need for you to track it, because what gets measured changes, right? When you measure something, you make progress, you see the change, you're able to adequately understand where you need to go next, what's holding you back. So you really have to start actually tracking the changes. When people start making habits on their own, they typically are not really tracking it, or they don't keep up with the tracker. So this can be simple. I love tracking apps. I think for my clients, that's usually works really, really well. Or you can use like a physical tracker on a piece of paper. You can use like a template online. I have templates that I put into my coaching programs that I give my clients. Like, look for a habit tracker. I know Way of Life is good. Streak is good. Those are two apps that I've seen people say they really like. But you want to track it day by day, right? And you also have to define what the consistency means to you, because consistency doesn't mean you do it every day. For some people, it may mean I want to, like I said, when I started meditating, I may want to do it 3 days, but I've gotten up to 7 days because that's where I wanted to go. But if you just want to do something for 3 days or 4 days or 5 days, That's your level of consistency that you want. Set that up, start tracking it. If you fall off, reflect on why you fell off. Then use those insights to inform your next decision. Now, for some people, they're not able to do that on their own. And that's why, you have coaches like myself. But you absolutely can do it on your own. Like, I'm not saying you have to hire me, right? I'm giving you what you need to do. So this is literally how you can start tracking your habits. The track is going to change your life, because once you're tracking it and you're able to like see your progress, that helps you to keep going as well. If you're a high achiever, you thrive off that shit, right? Like, we love that. We love checking off things and seeing how we're doing well. And if anything dips, we like to like get back on track and start over. Like, there's nothing wrong with doing any of those things. So that was the 3 ways that you can get consistent with small habits. First one, identify your why. Second one, make it super, super easy. Third one, use your logic instead of your emotion. When it comes to staying off social media and getting your work done, the connoisseur said that. I hope you're still on. What I would say about that habit is, if you want to get off social media, get off social media. Like, I know you're probably like, what? What I mean by that is literally log out of the apps, or turn off the notifications, or put your whole phone on do not disturb. Then take the phone and put it in another room. Because the thing that happens is, we'll put it on do not disturb, but the phone is literally right here. What does your hand do? My hand almost like, it's like, next thing I know, my phone is in my hand, right? Like, if I wasn't on live, my phone would probably be in my hand, and my finger would probably go on Instagram by automaticness. Like, it's just crazy how much of a habitual thing using our phones is, but it is what it is. We have to accept it. It is what it is. But what I want you to do, and what I do when I really need to focus, my phone is going in the closet. It's going in another room. I'm throwing it over there by the bookcase. I don't need to see it. It can't be anywhere where I need to grab, because I know I need to focus. I know I need to get my work done, right? When it comes down to chores, how are you setting up your environment to make you want to do the chores? Are you trying to do everything in one day, or are you taking it day by day, section by section? I had a client. She had her living room was a mess. She moved out, and she was like, I really want to just clean out the boxes since I moved. I've been struggling with that. Every week, we set up time on her calendar, just 30 minutes of cleaning, 30 minutes of cleaning, 30 minutes of cleaning. By the end of the 3 months, she had already cleaned not just that section of her house, but the whole house. And she had a system in place to actually keep the chores up and keep the cleaning up. And she got her kids into it. It was a whole thing. We got her all the way organized. These are simple tips you could be doing. Star said getting out of bed on time. If you're not getting out of bed on time, the first thing I'm going to ask you is, do you have a night routine? How are you setting yourself up for sleep? Are you getting adequate sleep? Are you going to, or do you have a morning routine? Do you have anything you look forward to in the morning? Why is your phone so close to you that you can snooze 1,000 times? Like, these are all things I would ask you if you're having trouble getting out of bed on time. Think about the reason behind why you aren't getting out of bed on time. There's usually something deeper. There's always something deeper. My clients always are like, I know you're not a therapist, but like, you kind of are my therapist. And I'm like, listen, I'm not licensed, so I'm not going to claim that. But can I help you work through your emotions? Yes. Can I help you figure out why you're not making these actions? Yes. Can I help you to get those actions done? Yes. So you have to reflect. A lot of times the answers are within us, and we need to just extract them out. That may be some of the reasons why you're not getting out of bed on time. If you want to snap out of that habit, start literally getting out of bed as soon as you wake up, like not even thinking about it. Use the 5-second rule, which if you haven't heard of the 5-second rule, it's by Mel Robbins, and I love that rule. Oh, I see some people join. I didn't even look at me. I wasn't even looking at the chat. Hi everyone who joined. I would shout you all out, but I'm in the middle of answering a question. Of course I lost my train of thought. Okay, hold on. If you're having trouble getting out of bed on time, how you can break out of the habit, use the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins. And essentially what that rule is, you count down from 5 as soon as you wake up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then you act. Because once you go past that 5 seconds, there's science behind this. It's like insane when you really look into it. Once you go past the 5 seconds, the next thing you know is you're going to talk yourself out of it. You give your brain too much time to make the decision. And that's why a lot of us are indecisive. I talk to my husband about this all the time. We indecisive because we're giving ourselves too many options and too much time to think about it. Make a decision, act on it next. And change your mind if you have to later, but make the decision. You decide, I'm waking up on time, getting out of bed tomorrow. Get out of bed. Go do something you enjoy. Don't just start your day going straight into work. That's probably why you don't want to get out of bed. I'm just guessing that because I've just seen it with so many clients. She said, thank you, super helpful. Love that. Okay, great. I don't know, I'm glad that was helpful because if I don't know the exact reason, it's like hard to like coach on that, but I'm glad that was helpful for you. Kind of sort of said, thank you. Awesome. Hey, Fran. I'm kind of wrapping up now, but if you guys have any questions about anything that I said when it comes to consistency with your habits, let me know. Of course, this live is going to be saved onto my page so you can watch the replay as well. Any questions that I can answer for you all, let me know. I'll stay on for like a minute or so. Any questions when it comes to consistency? Anybody? This is so helpful. Oh, yay. Cool, Kayla. RSL Experience said, what are the apps? The apps for habit tracking, I'm assuming. The ones that I mentioned was Streak and Way of Life. And you could DM me if you want the links to it. I don't mind sharing that with you. There's so many apps though, like that are out there. Those are just two that a lot of my clients like. And if you have an Android, I have a client, she uses, if Stephanie's on here, I don't know if she's still on here. She uses, I think it's called Habit Now, right? If you're on here, Stephanie, confirm. But I think that's what she uses and she likes it a lot too. I will. Oh, can you repeat the last tip about counting down from 5? Oh, yeah, of course, Kayla. Thanks. I feel like sometimes I speak so fast. So I'm glad you guys are asking me to repeat it because I get passionate and then I'm a New Yorker and then just... All right. So the 5-second rule. So what the 5-second rule is it's you tricking your brain, essentially. And it's this rule by Mel Robbins. Okay, all right. I see comments coming in. I'm getting distracted by it. Let me go back to Kayla's comment. So essentially what the 5-second rule is a way for you to take action and make a decision without allowing your brain to trick you out of it and start flowing in thoughts to help you to stop doing it. So let's say, like I was giving Star the example of when you need to get out of bed or you need to do something, count down from 5. And it's really important not to count up. You want to count backwards, like a spaceship, like you're about to go off into space. So you would count backwards, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you act. So whatever the action is, and this can work for if you want to start your chores, if you need to like wash the dishes, if you literally need to start a project, you need to go to bed, it can work for anything. You allow yourself to just act as soon as you get down or even before the 5 seconds is up. The whole point of it is that you don't allow your mind to trick you. You get right into taking action. And there's a lot of science behind why that works for people. And I would advise you to look it up, the rule, 5-second rule. It's really, really good. And Mel Robbins explains it way better than me. But I use the rule and I have clients who use the rule and they see a lot of success with it. Okay. Let me know if that helps. All right. Star said 5-second tomorrow a.m. I'm doing it and not going straight to work. Yes. Yes. Star, please DM me and let me know how that works for you. I genuinely love like hearing about how things work for people. Like to me, time management, behavioral science, like this stuff, I geek out over these things. Like I studied marketing in college and like consumer behavior and communication. So all this stuff is really, really like stuff I've always been into and interested in. So let me know how that works out for you. I feel like it's like a test and I want to see how it works for you guys and see if I can even help if something goes disarray. All right, Connoisseur said, do you struggle with procrastination? If so, what triggered you to change? Oh, I love that. Yes, I did. And honestly, 95% of people procrastinate. And honestly, I think everybody does. I think the number should be 100%, but I think there's 5% of people just be lying. No, I'm joking. But for real, almost everybody procrastinates. And I used to procrastinate heavy. Like heavy. Like I remember times in college, I used to pull all-nighters, knowing something was due, like just bad, just procrastinating. And I knew it was because I was scared of the work and I just didn't, I thought it was just because I didn't want to do it. But then as I've dug deeper, I realized it was perfectionism for me. So a lot of times if you're a procrastinator, you're probably a perfectionist. Let me know kind of if you relate to that, if you're also a perfectionist. And what that does is we're so nervous about not actually doing something perfectly or being at 100, or that we're not showing up every single day on 10, that we literally will procrastinate to the last minute and try to do things really, really quickly. And then we end up feeling stressed and we think we work well under pressure when all of that is all false. And we've just created a habit of doing so that we think that's where we thrive. So that was me. I used to procrastinate all the time. I used to even call myself a procrastinator. And for anybody watching, I want you to know that procrastination is not a personality trait. It is a habit, right? It's a habit that can be changed. And I have a whole YouTube video that digs really deep onto this. So I'll actually send that video to you, connoisseur. Let me screenshot your screen name. I'll send that video to you because I think it would be helpful for you. But what I talk about in the video essentially is that to trigger the change with procrastination, there's so many different techniques that you could be doing, but the first thing is going to be really thinking about, like, why are you procrastinating on this task? Where is it coming from? Why do you want to be doing the task that you want to be doing? And then, like, how can you trick yourself so that you start doing it? Like, can you time yourself and do it only for 5 minutes, start really small and build your way up? Like, how can you go about procrastinating less? So it's hard for me to answer the question without knowing exactly why you're procrastinating, but I hope that was helpful for you to understand, like, that's how I made the change, realizing that I can get way more work done when I'm prepared. I get better grades and I have better quality of work and I'm way less stressed and things come with more ease when they're planned out. Like, that all helped me to really make the shift. And another thing that helped me make the shift was working in corporate. Like, I was an account and project manager for like 6 years, working on campaigns and things like that. So when I was able to do that and actually get, like, things going and being on time with things and having a straight plan for things, like, that really helped me see how important time management is. And that's kind of like how I made the shift into this career in the first place, because if I was able to, like, do that at work, I was like, I can do this for my life. I wasn't trying to be the person who always felt like they had to get their life together. It was like I translated those things into my life. And now I get to coach people so that they can do the same, because that's what I'm very passionate about. So I hope that answered your question. I don't see any more questions, so I'm going to assume that you guys don't have any more. I have one question for everybody who's still watching, or if you're watching the replay. I want to know, what are some topics you'd like me to cover moving forward? Like, what are some time management related, productivity, lifestyle management related topics that you would like for me to cover? Because that's how I've been picking my topics for each live. I really have been picking it based off, what do you guys want answered? So yeah, drop any if you have any ideas. If not, I hope you enjoyed this live. And if you enjoyed this live, you probably absolutely enjoyed coaching with me. So I do have some coaching spots open for time management coaching. If you're interested in that, all you have to do is DM me the word time, and we can see if one of my coaching programs is a great fit for you. If we can see, if this is the right next step for you. Like, sometimes I just point people to resources they can do on their own. Other times it'd be way better for you to actually have me work through your habits, really revamp how you manage your schedule and your time, and maximize everything so that you can have more time for fun and freedom to do what you want, more time for self-care, and less time working and burning out. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I don't see any more questions, so I will see you next week.